Welcome to the program. This is the part 2 of this topic. In this segment of discussion, we are going to learn about Kazmireport. We will know its background and also the recommendations. So let's start without any wastage of time. Immediately after India achieved independence in 1947, the whole country faced a major problem regarding medium of instruction, whether English should be retained as a subject in education or should it be continued as a medium of instruction. This controversy, however, did not affect the state of Jammu and Kashmir, since Urdu has been retained as an official language of the state right from 1947. So several commissions were set up time to time to bring reforms in the educational system of the state. In 1947-1948, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah of Jammu and Kashmir National Conference was asked to form interim government in the state. Soon after taking over the first Prime Minister of a state, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah retained the portfolio of Ministry of Education under his control. The taking over the education portfolio personally by the Prime Minister was a recognition of the importance attached to education in the state. Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah started bringing the education system under its purview. However, the state found itself responsible for the education of its subjects. Trust was given to raise the general level of literacy as well as to provide educate opportunities for primary and higher and technical education. The most significant development in the history of education in the state of Jammu and Kashmir during the post-colonial period was establishment of full-fledged university at Srinagar. This development was a turning point in the educational history of state. The University of Jammu and Kashmir came into the existence on March 1948, and its affiliation with Punjab University was broken abruptly due to the partition of the country. The university was bifurcated in two divisions as were given the federal structure. The one was the Jammu division and other in Kashmir division. The Jammu and Kashmir National Conference thus tried to stand off an active and progressive policy of education which could help to carry the knowledge to the farthest and the most backward areas of the state. Education was not only made liberal but also the technical and allied to the national economic plan. In the future free and democratic state of Jammu and Kashmir, the National Conference look forward as time to time when women will take an active and honorable role in the development of arts and sciences and the cultural life of the community. It calls for encouragement of women scholars and artists of all kinds, inclusion of women in the cultural services of the state, special provision for the cultural development of women in villages and remote areas. In the opinion of Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, education for everyone was the basic need of the people if they were to emerge into the enlightenment. Thus, efforts were made to bring a cardinal change in the educational system, and work on this was taken up with great enthusiasm. This resulted in the gradual expansion of institutions at all levels, and their numbers started increasing, but these efforts could not match up with the requirements. After the telling about the recommendations of Kazmireport in 1950, the Education Organization Committee was framed, which was also known as Kazmi Committee. So this committee was appointed by the Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir state under the chairmanship of A. Kazmi and the Director of Education to meet the needs and aspirations of New Kashmir. The committee made various important recommendations, some of which are: mother tongue should be used as a medium of instruction at the primary stage. Regional language should be the medium of instruction as at secondary stage. And English should be the medium of language at a university stage, with the federal language as one of the compulsory subjects. In 1950, the Kazmi Committee report observed that untrained and unqualified teachers could not produce the best results. Moreover, teachers' education institutions was not equipped. Infrastructure such as building, labs, library, and the teaching staff deployed was also not qualified and trained. The committee recommended that the untrained teachers should be recruited to the department, and that qualified and trained teachers should invariably be posted in the teacher training schools to improve the quality of teacher education in state of Jammu and Kashmir. The committee also recommended the scrapping of basic education course, junior vernacular and senior vernacular, BC, JV and SV, and the institution of uniform training to be called certificate in teaching, that is CT. Most of the recommendations of the committee were implemented to raise the standard of teacher education. After the independence, Sheikh Abdullah, the Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir State, took initiative to improve the quality of teacher education. Teacher plays a very important role, and skills were received on the basis of qualification and training. Scholarships and incentives was provided to the teachers undergoing teacher training courses outside the state. By the end of the year 1956, two full-fledged teachers training colleges each in Jammu and Kashmir was set up. The concept of multi-purpose school was initiated in the country in the year 1952-1953, and Jammu and Kashmir was the first state to accept that proposal, and in consequence thereof, three multi-purpose schools were started in the first instance state. So the teachers were also gradually trained to cater to the needs of new courses of studies. Talking about a Bhagwan Shahi Committee report 1972, Bhagwan Shahi, born on February 15, 1905, was the governor of Kerala. So India from February 6, 1966 to May 15, 1967. So the Bhagwan Sahai took over the governor of Jammu and Kashmir state on May 15, 1967 and continued till 3 July 1973. And he was an ICS officer and alumnus of SM College in Chandusi, Moradabad. Before his stint in Kerala, he was also the LT Governor of Punjab in 1970 under the under the presidency of VV Giri. He headed the Committee of Governors, which sought to outline guidelines for constitutional heads. On the recommendations of the implementation committee headed by J.D. Sharma, the then Education Commissioner of Jammu and Kashmir, appointed for the purpose of looking into the possibilities of implementation the recommendations made by Kothari Commission. A committee was appointed by the Governor of Jammu and Kashmir on 1st April 1972 under the chairmanship of Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Bhagwan Sahai. This committee has several other members and, having worked for about a year, submitted its report on 1973. So the committee examined various aspects of school education and made various recommendations, and in the view of to implement the provisions suggested by the Kothari Commission, which are stated below. So in the it is prescribed that minimum qualifications and age limits for teachers for different levels, and the committee recommended emergency training programs for all teachers necessitated by the adoption of new curricula from 1975-76. It recommended emergency training programs for all untrained teachers of primary and middle schools already in service, and the backlog of these untrained teachers be cleared at any rate within 3 to 5 years. For the purpose that the committee recommended the following emergency programs. Teachers above 40 of age be exempted from training but given a refresher courses for one long vacation, summer or winter, and they deem it trained or a purpose of salary after the successful completion of the course. So the teacher between 25 to 40 years of age who have put in more than 5 years in service should be given short orientation courses of 5 months. This course may be spread over 2 successive long vacations. These teachers also should be deemed training for purpose of salary. Teachers below 25 should be required to undergo the full training course of 1 Yeah. With regard to the duration of training for different categories of teachers, the committee recommended the following arrangements. The duration of the training courses should continue to be 1 year, but the provision should be made for the periodical refresher courses for all teachers. Great emphasis should be laid on improving the minimum qualifications of primary and middle school teachers in the way of the fact that the teacher needs to have some training experience before joining the training institution. A system of apprentice teachers should therefore introduced under with the select teacher will be required to work for 1 year under the guidance of trained senior teacher. During this period of apprenticeship, every teacher should be given suitable stipend, and successful completion should be sent for the full training of 1 year. At the end of the training period, the teacher should be appointed on probation of 2 years, and after then confirmed. The committee recommended that good training colleges should be established in all districts of primary and middle schools. Teachers with the capacity of at least 200 each. The teacher of these colleges should be master degree in any subject with MEd and long experience in teaching. These colleges should perform these types of functions. You can look here: pre-service education for 1 year, refresher courses, and special emphasis on in-service teaching, and also the program of continuous refreshing of teacher through school complexes, and refresher courses based on selected themes should be devised for the time to time and conducted. These training colleges on correspondence or direct participation basis. The 2-month refresher courses should be arranged for every teacher in every 5 years of service. Radio and television should be involved in the development of this program. The 2 training colleges for secondary teachers also working in the public sector should be linked with the University Department, Education of Kashmir and Jammu universities. A program of in-service education of secondary teachers will have to be developed broadly in the lines recommended about the primary and middle school teachers, with emphasis on specialized theme-oriented courses both through correspondence and direct participation. This will have to be implemented by the Department of Education of Jammu and Kashmir universities, and the 2 training colleges for secondary teachers also existing, and also a specialized course for graduate teachers working in primary and middle schools is needed and will have to be provided in both colleges, Srinagar and Jammu. I hope you find this video informative. Thanks for watching. Give thumbs up.